What's up, you guys? This is the door that kills anime and manga, and this is another introduction to new manga, Intro-Manga segment of my channel. For you guys who don't know what it is, I haven't done this in the longest. It's where I introduce you guys and make a manga recommendation for a series that I'm either reading that is ongoing right now or a series I've already read that is completed right now. And what I'm doing for this segment of the channel is that I'm recommending series that I think are very good or that you guys have told me to read, and I've read it and I've been thoroughly impressed with it. These are series that I like, so I'm not giving you anything that is just based on you guys telling me to do it. So if I don't like it, it's not going to be on the intro manga. I'm always going to be doing this for the first 2 volumes of any series. So I'm going to have a good amount of chapters that I'm going to be reading. Usually around 10 or more, but sometimes volumes can come in less chapters like the series I'm doing now. So let's get into the story. This week's manga is called Opart Hunter, aka 666 Satan. But we're not going to use that term. I don't know if you people may be offended if I use 666 Satan as the title, but we're just going to call it Opart Hunter for most of the review. This series starts off with our main protagonist, Geoffrey, who meets up with our other main character, Ruby Crescent, and they're running from this huge fucking turtle. We first have our very main character, Geoffrey, who comes off as a very emotional loner type. He's very strong when we see him in the series, and he's young for a boy. We get a flashback from volume 2 about his past and how he's mistreated by others, and it's all because he has this demon inside of him. Remind you of anyone? And it is known that he causes mayhem wherever he goes. That's why these boys pick on him. With Ruby, she is the daughter of a treasure hunter. But this treasure hunter died a long time ago, so she left her daughter out, thinking she doesn't know her father that much, and she goes out to become a treasure hunter like her father, and able to, 1, grasp what her father's done for him, and for 2, just to understand the treasure hunter life, because while they were adventuring, while they were as treasure hunters, she never got the chance to go out on dangerous stuff with her father, because her father would leave her off with people to take care of her, and whenever he'd come back, they'd just go off to the next town whenever his father would be on the next mission. These two join up and come together, and they have a dynamic of both knowing when they're alone, both knowing the dynamics of each other, and easily get acquainted as friends. Well, not easily, because Geo really is reluctant to have friends due to the people who have stabbed him in the back, because he is unaware of the fact that he has this demon inside of him. You see, I like this series because it takes an interesting approach very fast. It builds sympathy for our main character and even our other supporting main characters, so I'm very engaged to see what will happen next with these characters. I want to see how both of them develop over time, and they both have their vices about each other that I want to see roll out. And this is an action, adventure, comedy, and supernatural series, so there's bound to be much fights. And the main purpose about this series, it revolves around these items called Oparts. Oparts were back from a not so long ago civilization that people dig up in ruins or excavations, and they want to find these items because they use specific techniques. Bam! Here's where the action comes in, because these techniques and these items are used to fight against each other and for power. Some people may use it to trade them under the black market for money, or the government may use them to get away from people who may use them for bad. But they're all used all around, and even Geo has one. His is called Zero, and these items are ranked from E to SS. If you guys remember Yu Yu Hakusho, there was a ranking system to rank demons, and it's the same one to rank this. You have E, D, C, B, A, S, and SS. And SS with it being the highest and E being the lowest. You see, all types of people called tacticians or OPTs can use these items, and they can invest their spirit inside of these items, thus allowing them to fight. It's interesting because if you like item series like Mare or Rave Master, you can get into it easily because it's very dependent on those skills and how you invest your spirit energy, quote unquote, into these items. One of the things that I didn't like that I took away from the first 2 volumes was that it had a very kid-like nature of it. It seems very lackadaisical, but not too lackadaisical. It's the beginning of the series, and I like where first impression is the best. And the first 3 chapters, I agree, were offsetting because I felt that the backstory of chapters 4 through 8 could be switched around, or just the story in general. Geo, I say, is a good main protagonist so far. He's good at the beginning, we see his flaws, and also with Ruby, we see their flaws. The artwork seems much more to be desired, but it depicts certain things specifically. It knows how to draw a ship, it knows how to portray emotions, and it knows how to portray comedy when it wants to. So it's not bad, but it's not overly impressive. So here are the details about this series. It's published by Square Enix, who's responsible for Gangan Comic, and it was in a monthly comic called Monthly Shonen Gangan, and it ranged from 2001 to 2007. The mangaka for this series is Seishi Kishimoto, aka Masashi Kishimoto's younger twin brother. So you can see a lot of similarities between the two, Gyo and Naruto, for demons inside of their bodies and being discriminated against ever since they were little boys. However, they have different obstacles to overtake, and they take the premise for that in two different directions between Naruto and Gyo. So I can appreciate that, and I can see that in the first 2 volumes. Like I said before, this manga is in Gangan Comics with Square Enix, so it's in the same comics as Soul Eater and the great series of Full Metal Alchemist. So if you enjoy those 2 series and who their publisher is, then I think you can trust this series to have good artwork, good production, or just a good interesting plot, because they come from the same publishers of those series. And also for an item-based series like this series, I also recommend Mare and I recommend Rave Master for you guys who don't know what those are. I'll do intro mangas for those series soon enough, but if you have seen those series, then you'd be invested in this Opar Tunner series. So we've come to the end of this video, and all I have to say is right now you need to go check out Opar Tunner. It's a very light, later dark read for a shonen manga, and it has qualities of action, adventure, supernatural, and comedic elements to it, and it's very enjoyable. I think you guys should check it out, and I'm gonna go finish this series as soon as possible. I'm gonna give my review out. So this is the Door That Kills Anime and Manga. Like or dislike this video, it does not matter. You've got all the quality content with none of the filler, and if you don't know what that is, then you need to watch more anime. Peace.